So let's continue sort of down that same vein in terms of some of the laws and things. But one of the things I read was that homosexuality within Islam is punishable by death.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's forbidden, and also I think it is forbidden also in Christianity as well, and it's forbidden in Judaism as well. But as a Muslim, I cannot, so this is not my job or responsibility to judge someone who's doing action like that. This is not my job to say, okay, this person, no, so a lot of people think, okay, because that believes in the Quran, then every Muslim, you know, is going to look at that idea as being bad, or as, you know, or they are against it. No, that's not mine. That's themselves. That's not mine.
Just to try to clarify, and I agree and understand that Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all have some doctrinal position that homosexuality is not accepted within the religion, or however you want to say that. Maybe that's not exactly the right way to say it. My point is not to offend people with the way that we characterize that, but it's more to point out what is the response from Islam to a homosexual person. And this probably applies to a lot of different potential categories, maybe more so than just homosexuality, maybe different preferences or whatever. And let me just say that from a Christian standpoint, and I believe this would be the same with Judaism, is that someone should not die for their actions in that regard. My perspective, and I think the Christian perspective, is that we want freedom for all people, and we want people to feel loved and accepted and nurtured, while at the same time realizing that all of us have what we consider false idols, things that we worship that are not God. And you know, sort of the technical religious term for that would be sin, but really it's just an idol that we want to place above God. And in this particular case, homosexuality or sexual preferences outside of a heterosexual married relationship would be considered a false idol or a sin. So the response from a Christian standpoint would be to love the person, to accept them, but also not accept the sin or the choices. So the point is, we want the person to feel loved and accepted and completely not judged by us. That's not our job. You know, our job is to love the people and certainly not harm them. So what's the response from Islam?
In Muslim country, there's a lot of people who are homosexuals, and they're still loved by their community or by their family members. So like you said, yes, the sin is forbidden. People look at the people should not be killed or chopped because of what they have done. And I remember the story. A person committed a sin and came to the Prophet, and it says, look, I commit this sin. And the Prophet says, well, I didn't hear anything. Go away. And the person kept coming and telling the Prophet. The Prophet says, well, you commit a sin. Why are you trying to tell me to be punished? I don't want you to be punished. Just go away. When people make a sin, he doesn't want people to come and tell him about that sin. Yes, you make a sin, it's between you and God. You know, but it's not my job to judge you and you think you'd be punished for that action. No.
Yeah, it's interesting perspective, though, when you look at the mass of the way Islam is played out around the world. That's definitely not a universal response, and I see that as grace. I mean, it's like, hey, it really is between you and God. In Christianity, those actions, regardless of how grievous they are covered by the work that Jesus did. That isn't what we see necessarily playing out across Islam, but it's good to hear you say that, you know, that's your perspective. Definitely. And what you feel like is appropriate.
I mean, the thing is about Muslims are 1.5 billion. So, I mean, look at the Muslim countries. We can't just bring one country and judge everybody, or bring ISIS or Al-Qaeda and judge everybody and say, okay, the Muslims are believing what ISIS are doing, or all the Muslims want Sharia law, or all the Muslims want those laws that are being in the Quran. Definitely not. There's a lot of Muslim countries are not going with the Sharia law. They're not, you know, there's homosexual, there's even bars and clubs in different Muslim countries for homosexual. Something like this are normal in some Muslim countries. But we can't just go and carry a sword and chop everybody's head because we disagree with them or we think this sin. No, like you said, everyone makes a sin, but that's sin between you and God.